In the spring of 1927, a handsome young man named Charles Lindbergh flew a light plane across the Atlantic. For being the first to do so, he won a prize and a permanent place in the history of aviation. Perhaps the most interesting outcome of this brave event was the intensity and feverish affection with which the world embraced its first international culture hero. It was almost instantaneous. The newspapers, the advertisers, the PR boys, we'd call them the media today, they all stood up and took notice. And they've been busy creating and selling heroes ever since. A couple of years after Lindbergh's flight, America's great humorist and cartoonist James Thurber explored this theme of image making in a story he called The Greatest Man in the World. By the time Thurber wrote this piece, around 1930, he'd been a news reporter and had spent a number of years on the staff of the New Yorker magazine, developing his skills as a writer of comic fiction. His stories are deceptively light, comic fables with a wonderful foolishness, as well as keen insight into human nature. Thurber's known for creating astonishing situations and remarkable characters, like the hero of The Greatest Man in the World. His name? Well, the man's name is Jack Smurch. That's his name. And as the story opens, the newspaper reporters have just begun to sniff out his amazing story.
Where's Dismal Lane?
In a hurry?
I'm a reporter, mister, hot on the trail of a story, a big story. Where's Dismal Lane?
What paper do you work for?
Journal Herald.
The Journal Herald. A continuing insult. The promiscuous breeding ground of distortion and lies. If you work for the Journal Herald, I never heard of Dismal Lane.
Hey, you! Come back here! I owe you a poke in the nose, buddy. What are you doing here?
Press.
What paper?
Journal Herald.
You're Ames Herbert? Why didn't you say so?
Did you ask?
I'm Ray Smidgen. It's my first assignment. I'm to tag along and...
I was forewarned.
Sorry about the...
Forewarned is forearmed, Mr. Smidgen.
You really feel that way about the Journal Herald?
Mr. Smidgen, you can't interview me. I never talk to the press. Dr. Charles Lewis Gresham, I presume?
That's right.
Ames Herbert, Journal Herald.
It's about time you almost missed the whole thing.
This is Jack Smurch, the pilot.
I was #1 barnstormer and stunt pilot. I can do the triple loop, boys, only from now on them tricks is peanuts. Lindbergh, don't make me laugh. Ain't nobody seen no flying yet. Doc, don't you do that or I'll take you up and I'll push you over and you forgot your parachute. And Doc, if you need one and you ain't got one, you won't need one again.
Gin?
My personal fuel.
Take some photographs of the plane, Mr. Smidgen. How did you fix upon this mild-mannered young aviator?
I put an ad in the paper.
Surely you had more than one applicant.
I needed a man who could stay awake and alert 4 days. Therefore, I sought, above all, a high degree of animal vitality. He doesn't look like a man who'll fall asleep. And if he should, he seems expendable.
What are these cans attached to the plane?
I devised an ingenious filtration system which thins gasoline to the point that the load, and therefore the coefficient of drag, is virtually non-existent. And thus, depending on how far you intend to travel, thanks to my brilliant invention, all you do is add auxiliary tanks.
So to demonstrate, he's going to fly around the world.
Hey, Doc, I'm done. We got a nice tailwind. Let's go.
You have the charts?
I got charts draining out of my ears. Hey, you guys! Hey, give me a hand! Hey, you, Sap. You want to be slicing the bacon? Stay right where you are. Don't move.
Hey, Sam, don't forget to drop the unused tanks into the river before you land.
Sure thing, Doc. I'll see you Thursday. Hey, say so long to my sweet patootie, okay?
Hey, Jack, don't get so cockeyed. You can't fly.
You just remember what I said. Ain't nobody seen no flying yet. Push, you palookas!
The junk heap got off the ground. You may refer to that, if you must, as the miracle of Dismal Lane. As for Jack Smurch, the less said about him, the better. In short, no story.
My Bonnie lies over the ocean. My Bonnie lies over the sea. My Bonnie lies over the ocean.
As the governor of Illinois lies in critical... Hold on. I've just been handed a bulletin. We have just received word that the young American aviator Jack Smurch has crossed the Atlantic on the first leg of a proposed round-the-world nonstop flight in a tiny monoplane.
No story, eh? Herbert, you and your sidekick go to Chicago tonight. Now drive over to Westfield, Iowa. Westfield, where Smurch grew up. Get the load down on him, get back here Thursday before we go to press. Have you got that? Well, get it.
You that sure he won't make it?
Not a chance.
You may be mistaken. There's something about him. He's got plenty of juice.
Not juice. Gin. No, Jack Smurch is a blowhard, a loudmouth, an idle braggart.
I think he'll make it. 2 coffees, please.
No dust in mine.
Say, we're looking for somebody who's supposed to live here, Mrs. Emma Smurch.
You the law?
No.
Bill collector?
No, ma'am.
You found her.
You're Emma Smurch.
Ain't I just said so?
Mrs. Smurch, we've come all the way from New York because your son, Jack, is going to fly a plane around the world without stopping.
Nothing you could say about Jack Smurch could interest me.
Is Jack's father around?
He don't live here no more.
Know where we might find him?
Number 165 Main Street, Preston. And if you see him, you tell him I said he got what he had coming.
Mrs. Smurch, did Jack have any childhood toys that he cherished? A sled or something?
He had a motorcycle when he was 13.
Would that be around here someplace?
No, he drove it through a drugstore window drunk. Didn't stick around to see how bad was the damage.
Do you have any childhood pictures of Jack?
That's only one.
We'll give it right back.
You can keep it.
Mrs. Smurch, as a mother, how does it feel to know that your boy may pass away any time in the next few days, may in fact already be dead?
To hell with him. I hope he drowns.
What scientists describe as an impossible machine that will not work, the astonishing, intrepid Jackie Smurch hurtles across Europe like a thunderbolt. Wherever young Smurch is spotted in his tiny Dragonfly 2 monoplane, there's dancing in the streets.
Yeah? I'm Jake Smurch. What can I do for you?
We're from a newspaper. We'd like to ask you a few questions about your son, Jack.
He killed somebody?
No, sir. He's going to fly a plane nonstop around the world.
Jack?
Mr. Smurch, can you tell us anything about Jack's interests as a boy?
Well?
Was he good in school?
No. Though he liked to read books about great men. Legs Diamond, Al Capone. See, school didn't make no difference to Jack because he was born with practical know-how. Jack could fix anything. Couldn't have been more than 16 when he had a job as an auto mechanic. Then, one day...
Hey, Smurch, mind the store while I'm out.
Oh, yeah, sure thing, Mac.
Do you mean to say Jack stole that car, Mr. Smurch?
Oh, I wouldn't put it that way. Jack was like an explorer. He took it because it was there. After he left reform school, Jack worked out at the airport. Took flying lessons, learned to parachute drop. Jack dearly loved to parachute drop. I remember the day he taught his buddy, I.O. Whiffle.
But, what happened to the plane?
Up in the air like that with nobody to pilot it. I often wonder.
Romeo, in the clover, this is number 1, and the fun has just begun. Roll me over, lay me down, and do it again.
Jack Smurch. I knew him well.
And just before Smurch departed Westfield High for the last time, they were very close. And Jack left me a gift, which I carry to this day.
He knifed you?
Jack had strong opinions.
Hey-o! Ruskies! Ruskies, hey-o! Jackie Smurch, the Westfield, Iowa ex-mechanics helper, is still awake and aloft, and continues to baffle the experts as he captures the hearts and imagination of common men the world over.
Well?
Conklin's in conference.
Oh, no. Are we going to make the deadline? Suppose he goes to press before we get back.
He left word we're to proceed to Flushing and confront Miss Sweet Patootie.
The first time I saw Pal, I knew he was someone special. I was at work, and the way he looked up to me, it wasn't like the others. It was more respectful-like.
Where were you working?
In burlesque. But Jack changed all that. That's why I'm where I am today, folding flats.
What does Jack Smurch mean to you personally?
Clean-smelling breath when he holds me close. Even if he doesn't shave every day, it just makes him feel closer somehow.
Doesn't he ever feel a trifle too close?
He does not sweat any more than he needs to, if that's what you mean. Except one time, I remember he pushed me down, and right there on the floor,
Miss Duffy, this is a family paper.
And then he fell asleep on top of me with the shoes on. Although not in a rude way.
Does Jack have any other attributes you admire?
He's wonderful. Warm, wholesome, modest, and regular in all his habits. Listen, Pal is tough. He'll make it.
Before he took off, Jack said, "Say so long to my sweet patootie."
He did. Listen, mister, was he all right?
Oh, alive and well, Miss Duffy, alive and well. For the time being.
Where's Conklin?
Can't you see I'm in conference? This couldn't wait 10 minutes?
Never mind that. Get that to break down the front page. What's the biggest type you've got?
144 points.
Nothing bigger?
Has he gone mad?
Let's go inside.
I guess so, Mr. Smidgen. Whatever you say, Mr. Smidgen. Boy, this better be good.
It is. Get this. Congenital hooligan Jack Smurch was barely 11 years of age when he commenced the first of many sojourns in a Preston, Iowa reform school. Smurch, feared and despised by his fellow townspeople,
Give me that. Petty larceny, grand larceny, assault with a deadly... Is this your idea of some kind of joke?
It's true, every word of it. The biggest scoop since Noah's Ark. Herbert said I could take it, right? Mm-hmm. If I don't get an award for this, there's no justice.
Do you read the newspapers? Do you have even the vaguest notion of what a phenomenon we've got on our hands? As soon as this congenital hooligan was spotted flying over Paris, doing those figure eights around the Eiffel Tower, all Europe went wild. Stalin has invited him to join the Communist Party. Japan calls him the little emperor. Right at this moment, he's flying over San Francisco, and they're all going wild. If there was an earthquake there, nobody would hear it. If and when this congenital hooligan touches down, he's going to be the greatest hero in the land. And you suggest that I print this mudslinging, this character assassination?
Listen, this is the truth. I swear it.
Young man, what I print is the truth. Until I print it, it's just sordid rumor, hearsay. Didn't you bring back anything I can use?
Well, his girlfriend did tell us a nice story. It seems during those halcyon days back in Westfield, Iowa, Smurch took his aged grandmother for a ride, and as they soared aloft, he gestured. like this. And warmly, wholesomely, with clean-smelling breath, he showed her what he claimed was the new world, the world of the air age. Said first the country, then all the continents would be interconnected by invisible sky highways. And all men would be brothers.
He didn't. She didn't. You made that up yourself.
So what? I like it.
I guess I should mention the time that Smurch saved his kid sister from drowning.
Great.
Smurch doesn't have a kid sister.
What difference could it possibly make?
And we'll touch lightly on the incident when Smurch shoved a toddling infant out from in front of an onrushing locomotive. Told her to drink milk, stay in school.
There's no railroad in Westfield, Iowa.
I don't care. It sounds good to me. Write it up, Herbert. Bring back any photographs? Hey, nasty-looking ferret, isn't he? He's left to be retouched. Smidgen, you keep your mouth shut about this. One peep out of you and your position here is terminated, defunct. Get it? What are you sitting there for, gawking?
He's hatching his hat.
Go on, both of you. Get out of here. Close the door. Conklin here. Yeah, I've got some information on Smurch I think may interest you.
Yes, I can't help but feel a spontaneous swelling pride when I see the whole world resounding with praise for this noble son of our great nation. We pray that all seeing Providence will continue to bless this intrepid journey of dauntless Jackie Smurch.
We've been talking with Irwin Codd, Secretary of State. Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
That's it. We're off the air.
And that, my colleagues, is what we know of Jack Smurch. In my opinion, the record, rather than being meager, is too complete. I stress again the urgency of ensuring the complete cooperation of everyone involved. Gentlemen, I ask you to join me in your hearts as I petition the Almighty.
Dear Lord, let not his mother's prayer go unanswered.
To hell with him. I'll betray him.